The National Electrical Code, specifically Article 801.27b, addresses the omission of sprinklers in rooms or spaces containing electrical control equipment, transformers, or motors and their associated wiring. However, this omission is permissible only if certain conditions are strictly adhered to. Firstly, the area of the room or space in question must not exceed 600 square feet. This size limitation is crucial for ensuring that in the event of a fire, the limited area allows for alternative fire suppression methods to be effective. Secondly, the electrical equipment, whether it be control equipment, transformers, or motors, must be located no less than 10 feet from the nearest sprinkler. This distance is critical for preventing accidental activation of the sprinkler system due to electrical faults or arcing within the equipment. Accidental sprinkler activation can cause significant damage to sensitive electrical equipment and potentially create hazardous conditions. The combination of these two conditions, the size restriction and the distance requirement, provides a balanced approach to fire safety in areas with high voltage electrical equipment. By limiting the room size, the potential fire load is reduced, and by maintaining distance from sprinkler heads, the risk of accidental water damage to the electrical equipment is minimized. It's important to note that the allowance for sprinkler omission under Article 801.27b of the National Electrical Code exists even if the Uniform Building Code, or other local building codes, generally require sprinkler systems throughout the facility. This means that even if the building as a whole is required to have sprinklers, specific rooms meeting the criteria outlined in the NEC can be exempt. The reasoning behind this exception lies in the unique hazards associated with high-voltage electrical equipment. Water, being a conductor of electricity, poses a significant risk when used in proximity to such equipment. Accidental or premature activation of a sprinkler system in a room filled with energized high-voltage equipment can lead to short circuits, explosions, and potentially fatal electric shock hazards. Therefore, the NEC allows for alternative fire protection strategies in these specific areas, provided that the conditions regarding room size and equipment placement are strictly followed. In practical terms, this means that if a room housing high-voltage electrical control equipment is smaller than 600 square feet and the equipment is positioned at least 10 feet away from any sprinkler head, then the sprinkler heads can be omitted from that room, even if the rest of the building is sprinkled. However, it is absolutely crucial to ensure that both of these conditions are met without exception. Failure to comply with either the size restriction or the distance requirement would negate the allowance for sprinkler omission and necessitate the installation of sprinkler heads within the room. Furthermore, even if these conditions are met and sprinkler omission is permitted, it does not absolve the responsible parties from implementing other appropriate fire safety measures. This may include the installation of smoke detectors, fire alarms, and portable fire extinguishers specifically designed for use on electrical fires. Regular inspections and maintenance of the electrical equipment are also essential for preventing potential fire hazards. In addition to the requirements outlined in Article 801.27b of the National Electrical Code, it is important to consult with local authorities and fire safety professionals to ensure that all applicable codes and regulations are being followed. Local jurisdictions may have additional requirements or interpretations that need to be taken into consideration. For example, they might require a specific type of fire suppression system as an alternative to sprinklers, such as a clean agent fire suppression system that uses a non-conductive gas to extinguish fires without damaging electrical equipment. In conclusion, while the National Electrical Code does allow for the omission of sprinkler heads in rooms containing high-voltage electrical control equipment under certain specific conditions, it is essential to understand and comply with all applicable requirements and to implement appropriate alternative fire safety measures. The decision to omit sprinklers should be made in consultation with qualified professionals and with a thorough understanding of the potential risks and benefits involved.